Folks, I want to talk to you today about something that's been weighing on a lot of minds: debt. You know, I've seen countless people struggle with this monster, and I'm here to tell you there's a way out. We're going to dive into the top 10 most effective ways to kick debt to the curb in 2025. Let me tell you something, folks. You can't fix what you don't understand. The first step to getting out of debt is to face it head on. You've got to list every single debt you have: credit cards, student loans, car payments, all of it. Write down the balance, the interest rate, and the minimum payment for each one. Don't shy away from the numbers, no matter how scary they might look. Once you've got that list, it's time to add it all up. You might feel like you've been punched in the gut, but trust me, this clarity is the first step towards freedom. All right, now that you know where you stand, it's time to create a budget that actually works. And I'm not talking about some fancy spreadsheet that you'll never look at again. I'm talking about a plan that tells your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. You've got to track every dollar that comes in and every penny that goes out. Start with your income. That's the easy part. Then list out all your expenses. Once you've got it all laid out, it's time to make some tough decisions. Remember, if you're serious about getting out of debt, your budget needs to be serious too. Listen up, because this is where a lot of folks get tripped up. Not all debts are created equal, and how you tackle them can make a big difference. First, there's the debt snowball method. This is where you pay minimum payments on everything except your smallest debt. You throw every extra penny at that smallest debt until it's gone, then move to the next smallest. The other option is the debt avalanche method. Here you focus on the debt with the highest interest rate first, regardless of the balance. Both methods work, folks. The key is to pick one and stick with it. Consistency is what's going to get you to the finish line.
Now, I know what some of you are thinking. I've already cut everything I can. But let me tell you something. There's always room to trim the fat. You've got to look at every single expense and ask yourself, is this helping me get out of debt, or is it keeping me stuck? Those fancy coffee drinks, subscriptions you barely use, eating out, all of it needs to go under the microscope. And I'm not saying you can never have fun again. But right now, while you're fighting this debt battle, you need to be gazelle intense. Every dollar you save on unnecessary expenses is a dollar you can throw at your debt. It might not feel good in the moment, but I promise you, financial freedom feels a whole lot better than any temporary pleasure you're giving up. All right, folks, let's talk about the other side of the equation, bringing in more money. If you're serious about getting out of debt, you've got to be willing to hustle. I'm talking about taking on a part-time job, starting a side gig, or finding ways to earn extra cash with your skills. Maybe it's driving for a rideshare service, freelancing, or selling stuff you don't need anymore. Look, I know you're tired, I know you're working hard already, but remember, this is temporary. You're not going to be working like this forever. It's a season of sacrifice, so you can win with money in the long run. Every extra dollar you earn is a dollar that can go straight to paying off debt. And let me tell you, there's nothing quite like the feeling of watching those debt balances drop faster because of your hard work. Now, this next step might make some of you uncomfortable, but you've got to do it. It's time to get on the phone with your creditors. You'd be surprised how many of them are willing to work with you if you just ask. Request lower interest rates, especially on those high-interest credit cards. If you've been a good customer and made your payments on time, use that as leverage. For some of you, debt consolidation might be an option worth considering. This is where you combine multiple debts into one loan with a lower interest rate. But be careful here, folks. Make sure you're not just moving debt around without addressing the root cause. The goal is to lower your interest rates and simplify your payments, not to free up credit so you can go deeper into debt. Listen up, because this might be the most important thing I tell you today. While you're working on paying off your debt, you've got to stop creating new debt. It's like trying to bail water out of a sinking boat while someone's still punching holes in the bottom. You've got to plug those holes first. That means no more credit cards, no more financing, no more borrowing of any kind. From now on, you're going to live on cash and debit. If you can't pay for it with money you actually have, you don't buy it. Period. It might feel scary at first, but trust me, the peace of mind that comes from knowing you're not digging the hole any deeper is worth it. The peace of mind that comes from knowing you're not digging the hole any deeper is worth it. You've got this, folks. Stay focused, stay determined, and financial freedom will be yours. Now I know what you're thinking. Why are we talking about saving when I'm trying to pay off debt? Well, let me tell you why. An emergency fund is your insurance against new debt. Life happens, folks. Cars break down, roofs leak, kids get sick. Without an emergency fund, you'll be tempted to reach for that credit card when the unexpected hits. Start small. Your first goal is to save up $1,000 as fast as you can. This is your starter emergency fund. It might not cover every possible emergency, but it'll handle most of the curveballs life throws at you. Once you've got that in place, you can focus on throwing everything else at your debt with peace of mind. Alright, folks, let's talk about using technology to your advantage. There are some great budgeting apps out there that can make tracking your spending and sticking to your plan a whole lot easier. Apps like EveryDollar, Mint, or YNAB can help you see exactly where your money's going in real time. No more guessing or trying to remember what you spent where. These apps can also help you set up automatic payments for your bills and debt payments. This is crucial, folks. Late fees are just throwing money away, and missed payments can hurt your credit score. Set it up once, and then you don't have to worry about it. Just make sure you've always got enough in your account to cover those payments. Now, I know some of you might be feeling overwhelmed. Maybe your debt situation is more complicated, or you're just not sure where to start. That's okay. Sometimes you need to call in the professionals. A good financial advisor or credit counselor can help you create a personalized plan to tackle your debt. They can see things you might be missing and offer strategies you hadn't considered. But let me be clear, I'm not talking about those debt settlement companies that promise to make your debt magically disappear. Those are bad news, folks. I'm talking about certified professionals who can guide you through this process. Look for nonprofit credit counseling agencies or fee-only financial advisors. They're there to help you, not to make a quick buck off your situation. One that I've used is Operation Hope. They provide free financial counseling services with no cost, and they work to get your credit score higher. Check them out at operationhope.org. Let's dive a little deeper into the debt snowball method I mentioned earlier. This approach is all about quick wins to keep you motivated. You list your debts from smallest to largest, regardless of interest rates. You make minimum payments on everything except that smallest debt. For that one, you throw every extra penny you can at it until it's gone. Once that smallest debt is paid off, you take the money you were putting towards it and add it to the payment for the next smallest debt. This creates a snowball effect where your payments get bigger and bigger as you knock out each debt. It might not make the most mathematical sense, but it works because it keeps you fired up. There's nothing like the feeling of completely eliminating a debt to keep you going. That's the power of the debt snowball method. Now, for those of you who are more numbers-oriented, let's talk about the debt avalanche method. This approach focuses on interest rates rather than balances. You list your debts from highest interest rate to lowest. Then, you make minimum payments on everything except the debt with the highest interest rate. You throw all your extra money at that one until it's gone. The advantage here is that you save more money on interest in the long run. It might take longer to see entire debts disappear, but you're tackling the most expensive debt first. All right. Let's talk about debt consolidation. This can be a useful tool, but you've got to be careful with it. Debt consolidation means taking out one big loan to pay off all your smaller debts. The idea is to get a lower interest rate and simplify your payments. Instead of juggling multiple payments each month, you've just got one. But here's the thing, folks. Debt consolidation doesn't fix the problem that got you into debt in the first place. It's not a magic solution. Listen up, because this might be the most important part of your debt-free journey. Staying motivated when you're paying off debt isn't easy. Set small goals along the way. and celebrate your victories, no matter how small. Keep track of your progress and remind yourself how far you've come. And remember, you're not alone in this. Find a support system, whether it's family, friends, or an online community of people on the same journey. You can do this, folks. I believe in you. All right, folks, we've covered the top 10 most effective ways to get out of debt in 2025. Remember, getting out of debt isn't just about the money. It's about taking control of your life and your future. It won't be easy, but I promise you, it'll be worth it. So what are you waiting for? Pick one thing from this list and start today. Your debt-free future is waiting for you. Now go make it happen.